You're listening to the Roofing Company Marketing Podcast, a podcast dedicated to helping your service-based business grow and thrive using the latest technology in internet marketing. And now, here's the host of our show and the CEO of Grow Inc., Matt Law.
All right, everyone, welcome back to a unique episode. We're talking about marketing for service businesses. And in this training, we're going to talk about yard signs, getting referrals, and boosting your online reviews. So this is a pretty practical strategy, and it takes a little bit of automation. And we're going to talk about marketing automation a little bit later. But remember the 4-step formula that we talked about in our first introductory training. And if you're new to the podcast and new to listening, I suggest you listen to all of these trainings in order. So the first part of our 4-step marketing formula is say the right thing with your unique selling points. It's your company's overall marketing message. You become innovative, you become better, longer warranty, background check contractors, the way you leave a job site, all of those things make for a better inside reality, and people want to work with you over your competitors. Step number 2 is grow your database using platforms and offers. And so we put a way to generate leads on your website, either through a quote form, coupon. There's also a free design guide or something like that you could use for your business, free samples. There's a lot of things you could do. But that's the offer, and we basically booby trap. And then measure and leverage the marketing arsenal. So all of the forms of marketing you do for your business, Google Ads, Facebook, Bing, whatever you're doing, which we've kind of outlined on our training here, you measure it and you cut out what doesn't work, and then you double down on what does work. The 4th step is automate your follow-up with marketing automation. And so we haven't got to this part of the training, but one thing I will tell you is that part of our immersive package or our all-inclusive packages, we create custom CRMs for our clients just for their business. And what's cool about this is that you'll have a pipeline as you go through your business. Like the first step is new lead, and then maybe it's scheduled. And there's basically a workflow to your business. You already have one now, even if you don't have a CRM, but we build a custom CRM that allows us to integrate marketing automation. And so when somebody fills out a form online, they automatically get this PDF delivered to them with all of our USPs. And then after we schedule them, they get a text and an email saying, hey, here's your appointment time. And it texts it to them. And then after the appointment, we can say, hey, thank you so much. When we pull a permit, we can say, hey, we've ordered your permit. So it's all part of their workflow, and it would be part of your custom workflow. So when I talk about some of the things in this training today, you're going to be like, oh, how do I automate this? Or how do I make this part of my system or process? We build it into our CRM for our clients, but for you and in your business, you would have to build it into a process. Maybe you have a paper trail that you use, but it could just be a checkbox on some of your documents. So I'll kind of walk you through that. So the first, let's talk a little bit of some of the problems that you may be facing. It's hard to gain visibility in the local workplace. It's expensive to run ads, and basically another thing is you're trying to get word of mouth traffic. You're trying to get people to, refer you business and to share that, that they should work with you, but it's hard to do that. And it's hard to create a referral campaign with incentives that causes people to send you referrals. And so we're going to go through some of these problems and talk to you about how you can get basically free advertising, how you can make every one of your customers a referrer. And we're going to talk about how you can get more reviews every single month by sending a simple thank you gift with a QR code and a way for people to leave reviews. So let's start off with talking about yard signs. I'm a big proponent of this, but you have to do it the right way. And one thing I would suggest is that when you go to a job and you are selling them on a contract or whatever, and they're getting ready to sign up, I would make sure that they know that you have built in a X number of dollar discount if they will allow you to do a yard sign. It's just part of your contract. And if they say no, then the price goes up $100. And I have never seen a customer say, hey, no, like we don't want that in our contract. Like it's usually not a big deal. And the longer the job is, if it's only for a few days or a couple of days, it's no big deal. If it's a long job, then maybe it becomes more of a deal, but you may want to say, give them a better discount on there. But it's basically you set your price as you would normally, and then they're automatically getting the discount for allowing you to have a yard sign there. You can get yard signs super affordable. So if you get like the metal ones, then you kind of got to pick them up and do all that. But if you use the ones that are used for like political signs or like these church signs that are around, what I would do is just have it out there. And when your guys come in, you put it out. And then when you finish the project, they can either pick it up or it can be thrown away. So you can get these fairly affordable, $2, $3 a sign, maybe a little bit more depending on the quantities that you use. And basically you want to put another service job by in your company and then your phone number. One cool thing is remember when we talk about measuring phone calls, we'll put in one of those tracking numbers on the sign so we can go in and see how many phone calls we've received from a yard sign. It's a great way to have visibility that you are working there, that you're doing a good job for these people. And it's also great for just giving you free visibility. So yard sign is not expensive to do, just takes a little bit of a change, little design, little order, but it's a great way to have visibility. I will say along with the yard signs, some clients, they also do like door hangers. And what a door hanger could be is basically like, hey, we're in your neighborhood, like a flyer. What I would normally do is not do like a paper door hanger. I would do something like a plastic one that you can put and insert in. So that way, if it gets wet or whatever, it's okay. It lasts a little better and it looks a little nicer. But you can get the plastic door hangers. You put your insert in there, and basically it says, hey, we're in your neighborhood. We are doing this. And what I would do is have your guy or whoever's quoting it just drop them off. I would not knock. I would not solicit, but I would say, hey, we're in your neighborhood. We're just doing this. If you need anything, just so you know, if you need anything, just let us know. If we need to move our cars, you can tell us, so it's a way to say, hey, we're going to be working here and it's low pressure. Yard sign alone should be enough, but it's a cool thing to do the door hangers as well if you have the team. So now let's talk about how you can get referrals. And so we talked about the social media referrals in a previous episode and that viral referral campaign, the before, during, and afters. But we're going to talk about something a little bit different in this episode. So when we close out a job in our custom CRM for a client, or when they are running their business, so they're the one that actually says the job is closed. But when they go in, before they go to close, it basically says, do you want to send a thank you? And if they click yes, then it would create a task for the person who's going to be sending out this thank you package. And what I would suggest for your thank you packages is you can go to uline.com and you can get all kind of shipping stuff, but they have these great mailers and they're like envelopes that you can stuff something in, and then you can ship them to your customers that you said yes and a thank you campaign and ask for a referral. So this is how it works. If that is marked as yes to send a thank you campaign, then what happens is it waits 5 days and then it triggers a email and a text to that customer. And it's basically, hey, thank you again so much for working with us. We really appreciate your business. We've put a little something for you in the mail. If you haven't got it already, you should. Again, we just want to thank you for your business. So you're not asking for referrals. You are not asking for a review. This is just telling them that something is coming in the mail. Now, obviously, if things go sideways on the project and you're closing it out and it says it's in that last phase and the question is, do you want to send a thank you gift? If you click no, they're not going to get that text. They're not going to get that email. The project's just going to be closed out. So we're not asking them for a review. But if things have gone well and you like the customer, they like you, they're pleased with your work, this is a perfect opportunity to ask them for a review. So what's going to happen is they get that text after about 5 days. 5 days later, we ship out our package. So it's coming almost at the same time. We go to Uline and we get a really nice envelope, and then we get some custom swag for that user. Now, swag does not have to be expensive. What we do, we've tried a lot of different things. We've tried sending them cups. We've tried to send them really high-end gifts. But what I find that works really, really well that people seem to like is we use like a custom lunchbox or a custom cooler. And what these are is these are like insulated, these bags, like lunch bags or cooler bags that keep your food cold or warm, and you can get various different sizes and you can get your logo printed on them, and it's just a really nice little thank you gift. And so you can get these printed anywhere, these online swag companies, For Imprint, lots of different companies. And what I would do is get one for your customers that you're closing out big jobs. Now, I'm not talking about like a small service call, like fixing something small. I'm talking about you've sold a big job and someone's coming into your business model. They're a new customer and they've spent significant capital with you. And so as you thank them, they get this gift, and inside of it, there is a double size business card. And so if you've ever seen these, you can fold them in half and it opens up to be the size of 2 business cards. And on one side, it just says thank you. And on the back, it has their logo. But when they open it up, it thanks them so much for their business and asks them if they could please leave us a review if they're happy with their work. And here's some additional business cards if they would like to refer us in the future. And so inside of there, you basically put inside of the bag the double card, which is the ask for a review, some additional business cards for their friends if they need to refer you, and then there's the great gift. And again, if the gift stinks, if no one likes it and it's ugly, that's not a good win. So you're not going to get reviews. But if they get this great gift and they basically get these additional cards to refer friends, and all they have to do is scan this QR code to leave you a review, you'll find that a significant amount of them every month will do that. So I've got clients that they start off with 17, 18 reviews. And over the course of 2 to 3 years, they're well over 100 now. If you have 100 5-star reviews compared to your competitors, you are going to get much, much more business because people start in Google and then they look at you and they say, man, look at this company's got this many reviews. I was going to go with this other one, but they've only got 40 reviews, and look how many reviews they have. And so as you have more reviews online, you do a better job. People are going to go with you, even if your price is higher, because they trust what other people have to say. And one thing to remember in marketing is people don't care what you say about yourself. They care what other people say about you. And so it's super important to have those online reviews for your service business. So when you send those out every month as part of your system, man, every month you're going to see people come in, thank you, and you're going to get referrals, and you're also going to get these online reviews. A little bit about the online review system. There's a couple of different apps out there, and if you end up using Bright Local for local search, they have a tool where basically you can send them a link over to their review tool. And basically it says, how do we do? And if the people select less than 7, out of 6 out of 10, then basically it asks them for feedback. But if they say 8 out of 10, 7 out of 10, then it will say, thank you so much. Do you mind leaving us a review on Google? So you can even do a 2-step process. So you catch the people that are upset and you can solve those. And the people that are happy, they just go right over to Google and they can leave a review, which is super cool as well. In your little card that you send with your thank you package, you can also tell them that for everybody they refer to you, you'll send them over a gift card. I have some clients that do that and some clients that don't, but I suggest you make that really clear what you do for the people that refer you business. So just a great way to just tell them, hey, when you do send us a review, or send us a referral, we will pay you X amount of dollars or whatever you decide to do that. So getting reviews is super important. Getting referrals is super important. In a slow market, when maybe when things are tight, when you are not getting as much on pay-per-click, or maybe you want to spend as much on pay-per-click, referrals and repeat customers and all of that will help sustain your business. So you can actually spend less on marketing. When your company has great reviews and you've sent this thank you gift and it's growing and growing and growing, that is going to increase your conversions as well. So even though you may be starting with less reviews when you start this, imagine if 1 out of 5 people that you do a job for give you a review. How many more reviews would you have at the end of the year? So a couple of common questions is, how do I make my signs stand out among my competitors? Make it very simple, like another great job by your company name, and then go ahead and put your phone number in there. Make it match your brand. It should look nice, but it's got to be readable from the road. So don't put too much words on there. And another question is, well, what should I give people that just refer us business, or what's a good incentive? I think gift cards are the best. Absolutely. So you could say, for every referral you get, we will send you a Visa gift card from, maybe it's from $50 to $500, depending on the size of the job. Again, you want to be generous when you get a referral. And the only way this can work is if you put on your website form that says, how did you hear about us? There's an option that says referred by a friend. And then you can capture the name of that friend. When your person's answering the phone, how did you hear about us today? Oh, my friend so-and-so told me about it. They select referred by a friend, and then they put their name in there. And then when the job closes and you're closing it out, as part of the checklist, you say, okay, we got to send out a thank you gift. And then it's just put into the mail. And the person that referred them is thrilled to death. And once they get paid for one referral, they're going to refer you so many more. So you just got to make the incentive worth their time. I've seen people that tell me like, hey, I just want to do like a $5 gift card. No one's going to do it. It's just not worth it. It has to be something that is substantial. So what about negative reviews? This is another question we get, is how do I handle negative reviews effectively? When you get reviews, whether positive or negative, you want to respond to them professionally. Even if you're upset, you don't want to be nasty. You need to give yourself a little bit of time. For every positive review you get, you thank them, tell them you appreciate their business, thank you for the review, and let us know if you have any issues with your job, with your project. That's a typical way to respond to a good review. For a negative review, you don't want to respond at first. You want to go to them and see if you can figure out the problem. So in most cases, you can turn that review from a 1-star to a 5-star by figuring out what they want. And if they want some money off, I would usually do it, depending on how much that is. If things are not going well and the project isn't done, try to get the project back on track and still offer them some sort of discount if they're willing to update their review. And so those are options right there. Now, if you get a negative review and you have no idea who the person is, that's very difficult. But basically what you want to say is, this is not someone that has worked with our company. If you could please update your review, because we don't know who you are. We've never had a customer name so-and-so after going back through our database. And basically, as people read your reviews, and if you don't say that and they come to that review and you've responded to it, it makes that person look like an idiot. Now, that person could update their review then, because it's going to shoot them a message, and then you're going to find out who it is. And then you can go in and say, and you can either give your side of the story and say, hey, if anyone's reading this, let me tell you I just want to respond with what really happened. We went back and forth. We have proof of all the communication. We could share it to anyone. We will show you that we did everything we could to make this go well. You always want to respond to a review. So as we kind of wrap up this short little training, yard signs and door hangers, we talked a little bit about doing that. We talked about closing out a project and sending over this thank you gift with, the cards in it, the referral cards, and the basically that other double-sided card or postcard or something that says, thank you for the business. Here's some cards to refer us. Scan this QR code to leave us a review online. We would really, really appreciate it. Just so you know, we don't pay anything to anybody for doing a review. So if they do a review or they don't do a review, they still get the free little cup. But imagine this. It costs like $2 to mail. It costs $4 for that piece, some business cards. We're probably looking at $5 or $6. And if 1 out of 6 gives us a review, that's like $30. That costs us $30 to generate a review. It's not a lot of money, and it should just be built into your overall budget. If someone spends with you $6,000, $7,000, some of your projects could be worth $20,000 or more. You have to do something nice and just thank them. Otherwise, the deal's done. You haven't communicated with them. It's just not the same. So I would encourage you to be generous if you can. As we wrap up our episode, just want to remind you, you can request our free resources from Grow Inc. This includes our free book, over 100 pages of our 4-step marketing process to grow service-based businesses. You can get the book in digital format for your favorite reader, Apple, Google, Kindle. There's also an audio copy and a PDF copy. So lots of ways that you can listen or read that book. We've also got a checklist of exactly everything you need to do to grow your business. And lastly, there's a list of all of our tools that we suggest for growing your company. So as we kind of wrap up, I just want to remind you that we really appreciate you listening and kind of tuning in. If you're interested in working with us at Grow Inc. and you want to learn more about it, we basically have a kind of a unique process, I guess we should say. We've got, after you request our free resources, we basically have a short little application that you have to fill out to tell us about your business to see if we would be a good fit. One of the things we want all of our clients to do is to be educated, and that's a big reason why we made these resources. We want to provide training and helpful information. And what's awesome is you can listen to this and you can know exactly what we're going to do to grow your company. It's effective, I will say that, and I appreciate you listening and hanging out with us. Have an awesome day, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the podcast today. We hope you found today's episode helpful and informative. For more information about Grow Inc. and to request our free marketing blueprint ebook and other resources, please visit www.grow.inc. That's GRO.inc. We'll catch you in the next episode.